Hello and welcome to the Dugout Daily Tactics, bringing you all of the news of the day from across Scottish football. Last night, the international break concluded for Scotland with a 2-1 win over Belarus. Shay Adams and Scott McTominay were the goal scorers for Scotland. This concludes a fairly positive international break for Scotland in terms of results, as they sit second in the group, level on points with Denmark, only on goal difference. However, the performances were not there. They lucked out against Greece, scoring 3 lucky goals. It was a bit of a freak result. And then last night against Belarus, a team ranked 100th in the world, 55 places behind Scotland. Belarus were probably the better team and deserved something more from the game. They had a lot of opportunities, more shots and more expected goals than Scotland. Steve Clarke once again has been called into question for his negative style of play. One thing in particular that got a lot of Scotland fans confused was around the 75th minute, where we finally made some substitutions, but it was to bring on 2 defenders, John Souttar and Kieran Tierney. I've got a question for you. Do you think Steve Clarke should be the Scotland manager, and do you think he's the man to take them into the World Cup if they were to qualify? Yesterday, I spoke about the Rangers managerial search and the potential names to be in the job. Of course, the new favourite is former Sheffield Wednesday manager, Danny Rowe. Rangers apparently looked at him in the summer, however they were put off by his £2.5 million release clause. Other names obviously include Ralph Hasenhüttl, Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna, and a new name that has come into the fray is Michael Carrick. Former Scotland midfielder and current Sheffield Wednesday midfielder Barry Bannon says that if Danny Rowe was to become the new Rangers manager, he tips him to make an immediate impact at Ibrox. In an interview after the game last night, Steve Clarke says he was speaking to Scotland youngster Ben Gannon-Doak about his pass selection and final ball at halftime during the game. Of course, Doak was ripping the Belarus left back to shreds, but he didn't always have the end product. And finally, Dundee boss Stephen Pressley has asked the fans for some patience for the new summer signings after the Blues came under heavy fire from supporters after their shocking 4-0 defeat to Aberdeen.